Hey, this is Steven from Kiwibox.com. Right now we are talking with Josh X-aN-Tus. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? How's everybody doing?
Everybody's good here. So, first off, let's talk about your history as a musician. When did you first start playing the piano?
I started playing ever since I was like 6 years old. Pretty much my mom, all the kids, my brothers and sisters, she gave us all instruments, and it was no option. You know, she's like, this is your new friend, get to know it. So I've been playing it since I was little.
Alright. And what about singing? Did you ever take vocal lessons?
Yeah. You know, as I got older, like in my teens, I started actually, mixing my piano skills with, songs that I was listening to on the radio. And being a trained musician, going to like Juilliard and stuff like that, playing music by ear was a skill I acquired. And I would listen to certain songs and then pretty much start mimicking what I was hearing. And then when I discovered that I had a passion to do this music and become a vocalist, slash musician, I started attending vocal lessons.
Okay, so you mentioned you went to Juilliard. Juilliard is really demanding of its students. How did you find the time to write your own tunes while you were there?
Well, when I was attending there, pretty much there was no time for that. It was strictly classical, hardcore training, 7 hours a day, practicing. It really, really was hard. And that's why I left that school to go to a jazz commercial school, which I ended up graduating last year at Five Towns College, because I wanted to pursue a career in R&B, and Juilliard wasn't permitting that schedule. That's just all about classical. And I really didn't want a career in that. That was something my mom gave to me, and she wanted me to do that growing up, to be a classical musician. And as I got older, that's not where my heart was. So I left from that, and I had to go to a school that was going to give me that freedom to do that. So it's very hard being a student from there and trying to pursue a career in R&B. It's definitely a hard situation.
All right, well, I assume you learned a lot about classical music theory. Does any of the stuff that you learned from your classical music studies influence your current songwriting process, or can you hear any of those influences?
Yeah, it definitely helps me a lot, actually. Being a classical musician, it's all about feeling. When you play a piece from Mozart or Bach, you have to be able to translate what that composer was trying to get across with their composition. So being a singer, an R&B singer, when you're singing about love, that's all about feelings too. So, when I take an approach to writing a song or even coming with an instrumentation to a song, it's being classically trained and knowing how to translate music is definitely something that I add in my R&B field of music. And pretty much if you could play classically, you could play anything. That's like almost the hardest genre to ever be able to play. And I'm like blessed to have the ability to go back and forth. And I do use it in my music today.
You did classical, you studied jazz, but now you're pursuing a career as an R&B singer. Is that because R&B is really what moves you the most to be a composer and artist, or how come you're not doing jazz? How come we're not seeing a jazz record coming from you?
Unfortunately, during the time that we're in today, jazz music is not as appreciated as it used to be. When we had great, jazz musicians like Dizzy Gillespie and, other great musicians that, came from our time. In today's world, music is all about, having fun, love, pain, lies, cries, all of that, and pretty much translating that. Like, I want to get my story across and what I went through with my relationships and my personal problems that I bring to my music. And jazz is not a tool to do that. It's not a commercial kind of thing. Jazz has kind of become an underground form of music, and I really want to get my message across to the majority. So that's why I haven't, gone jazz. But I do practice jazz. I do play. I do incorporate it with my music, and I'm still a great fan of jazz music.
Okay, so let's talk about Let's Ride. Let's Ride is the single. It features Jadakiss. How'd you hook up with Jada? What was it like working with him?
Pretty much my friend DJ's friend. And I was, in the studio and recording Let's Ride. And it was produced by Little Wonder, who's the nephew of White Cloth. And we were playing the beat, and I was like, this song needs a rapper. So I called up my friend. My friend was like, yeah, I can't guarantee anything, but I want to, we could play it for him. So we went to the studio, and I played it for Jada, and Jada just loved it. She was like, this is crazy. I want to be a part of it. It's dope. Let's do it. So we cut the record, and I mean, as any artist, brand new artist coming to the game, having Jadakiss as a feature and co-signing you and actually wanting to be a part of the song is just a dope feeling. So I was really excited. I mean, he wrote his verse right there in front of me. He was asking me for his feedback. The whole process was just amazing.
Yeah, it sounds it. So, Let's Ride is coming off of Can I Live? That's your debut album. What should listeners expect on your debut? Is it going to be songs like Let's Ride, or is it more ballads? What's the general feel of the record?
The general feel of the record is pretty much, it's a mix of everything. Like, you're going to hear things that you just wouldn't expect from a up-and-coming artist. You're going to hear a lot of me in this record, and pretty much the album is all about trials and tribulations that somebody of my age, being 22, having a full scholarship to college, making sure you had to graduate, pursuing a career, coming from a single-family home where your mother was just a provider, and going through life and taking all that was around you and making the best out of it. And that's why the album is called Can I Live? It's about making choices, like whether or not they're the right or wrong choices. At the end of the decision that you made, can you live with it? So in this album, it's all about just life, and it's real. So all my fans and listeners, when they buy this record, they're going to get a big sense of me and who I am and how I became this person.
Okay, so what about besides Jadakiss? Are you featuring anyone else on the record, or are you just keeping it focused on yourself?
We focused on a female artist. One of the candidates is Estelle. I was introduced to her about 2 weeks ago at Q-Tip's album release party, and she was like, she's all for it. So pretty much when the record gets mixed and mastered, we're going to get Estelle to jump on one of my songs on the album.
Very nice. Okay, so I read that you also want to start signing people and kind of cultivating new artists in the future. Do you have your eye on anyone at the moment, or is just something that you just want to pursue down the line?
I actually do. I actually do have a young artist. She's a pop singer. She's 15 years old, and I'm just grooming her right now. She was a finalist in the American Idol Juniors, and she has a lot of interest from a lot of important people in the business. And right now, I just took her under my wing, and I'm grooming her. And you can look out for her soon. Her name is Nikki Valentine.
All right. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. But is there anything else we should expect from you before the album drops?
Pretty much we're just working the single. The video's about to come out. I shot it with Jadakiss. I got a song called In Love With You. We shot the video too. That's going to be coming out before the album drops. And just more of me. More on radio, more on TV, and just expect on early 09, the album Can I Live will be in stores, and everybody should go and get that.
All right. Well, Josh X, thank you very much for talking with me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.